What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of Nicky's Corner, where we unplug all things lifehood, wifehood, and motherhood. Now let's get into the video. So as you guys can tell by the title, we are going to be just having a little chit chat with me, and I'm just going to be speaking. I really didn't come prepared with a official, thing that I'm going to talk about, but I really was just thinking today about my life and like a number of the people's situations that I've heard about over the last couple of years. And I just want to say, don't give up. No matter what you do, don't give up. And I know it's easier said than done. And sometimes your situation may be throwing things at you that you really don't know how to navigate, but keep pushing and keep trying, because you will make it through. And so I just want to talk a little bit on how I navigated through a very low season in my life. Getting married and having children came with a lot of things that I never ever anticipated. I know I mentioned it before, my children came with allergies, and those really brought me down to, or that situation actually brought me down to a very low season, because it's something, like I said, I never really dealt with before. And so having to navigate that and just having to find food for them all the time and having to work through all of the testing of the peanuts and testing of the milk and all those things, and seeing them react really brought me down, because I would look at other kids and I'd be like, oh my gosh, how come, my child has to go through this, and how come they're not dealing with that? And this child was born at the same time, but they're not having the same experiences that I'm having. And I had to fight through all of those things in my head, because at the same time I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I obviously don't want anybody to have to deal with this. I would not want anyone to have to experience it. So if not me, then who? I don't want anybody to deal with it. So God, I had to realize that God chose us to deal with the situation, and He would never give me any more that I could bear. And so even though it was difficult having to just come to terms with what she was dealing with and what we were dealing with, He gave me the strength, God gave me the strength to be able to be like, okay, well, let's figure it out. You're going to sit down, you're going to do research, you're going to see what things she can eat and what things she can't eat. Once you figure that out, you're going to go to the stores and look through all of the ingredients of everything. Like, He gave me that patience and that care and that strength that I needed to pull through. And days are hard. They're still hard, but they're easier now. Now that I've gone through the harder stages and the harder steps of just trying to manage the whole thing, God has given me that strength to pull through. I often was just like, at my end, like, I can't deal with this anymore. She's just going to eat rice forever, because it's so tough to have to bring cake to a party, and it's so tough to have to make pizza. But you know what? I was constantly praying about it, constantly praying to God to give me the ability to be able to be that parent that she needs me to be that person that she needs me to be. And He was able to grace me with that. And so I'm so happy that even though we're still going through the situation, even though we're still living through it, He is giving me the grace and the ability to get through. And that is another testament of not giving up, because right now my daughter can know, like, hey, I can go somewhere and I could fit in. I can be okay. I can go somewhere and my mom and my dad are going to take care of me. I will be able to eat cake at this party. I will be able to have pizza at this pizza party. We actually just threw her a birthday party on the weekend, and she chose to have a pizza party. So while all the other kids were eating pizza, baby girl was eating her pizza, and she did not feel no ways. Nobody noticed anything different. And that for me brings me so much joy. Though it was very dark and very hard, the strength that this baby girl carries, the strength that she always wears on her shoulder, like she's so strong. She's been so strong since forever. And I always say it, like, she is my strength, because she was the first hardship that I ever had to deal with. And she was always just so smiley and just so, jovial about everything. She laughed her pain. Even when she was having reactions, she would just be laughing and carrying on, and they'd be in the hospital like, she's fine, like nothing's wrong with her. Meanwhile, I'm like frantic all inside. And so I think God really gave me her to be able to remind me, like, you don't have to do this on your own. Like, I got you. He is the strength. He is the strength. So lean on him. And another thing is, like, when my husband and I were going through our hardships, when it came to financial and all of that stuff, and the miscarriages and all of that stuff, it was hard. And I felt like everything was just back to back. Like, it was just hitting us back to back to back. And I really had to rely on God. He really was the one to get me to this point right here. And if it wasn't for God, honestly, I don't know where my mind would be right now, because I wasn't very vocal about what was happening. I never shared it with my family. I never told anybody, because to begin with, I'm not a big talker, but to be able to speak about those things, it's very shameful. It's very hard, and it's very sad. And God was able to keep my mind so that even when Dean was down, I was able to be strength for him. And even when I was down, he was able to be strength for me. And there was never a point in any time of any of this hardship where I cursed God and I said anything crazy. I never, ever went to those limits, because I know that at the end of every day, I owe it all to him. For the mere fact that I am still alive and breathing, for the mere fact that I'm woke up in my right mind, for the mere fact that I have my 5 senses, that I can eat, breathe, talk, walk on my own, and I don't have any assistance. Like, I'm not on a hospital bed right now. Like, I am able, and I'm still pushing, and I can make today and tomorrow even better than it was yesterday. I am grateful to God for that opportunity. And so God has been the rock that really, really has kept me afloat. Like, he has been everything. And I just want to encourage someone today, don't give up. Don't give up. And I really came on here with no idea about what I was going to talk about, but I want you to know that no matter what you go through, don't give up. Don't give up on God, because he will not give up on you. Keep pushing, keep striving. Even if you feel like you can't do a thing, the moment you start to believe that you can't do a thing, that is when the thing becomes true. That is when that statement becomes true, when you accept it to be true. If somebody is saying something to you, but you don't believe that, there's no way that can be true. You will prove them wrong, because you will do that thing. So you have to believe in what it is that you want to do, and you can absolutely achieve it. Hold your head high. I know I mentioned before, broken crayons still color. It doesn't matter what situation you go through. It doesn't matter what your previous chapters look like. When a crayon is broken into 17,000 pieces, that little tiny piece still has light. It can still color a masterpiece, because it never lost its color. So I say that to say, you still matter. You still have this. You can do it. It doesn't matter what situation you're going through. Just do not give up. Somebody is waiting on you. Somebody is waiting to hear your story. Somebody needs you, even if it doesn't feel like it. I know a lot of the times I'm just like, I just don't want to talk, but this is literally why I started to do this on my own, because I'm like, I have a story that I can share with people to potentially help them from maybe making the same mistakes, or help them out of a situation that might be similar to this one. But anything, somebody can benefit from something that you've gone through. And so don't give up. You got this. You're an amazing individual. And I'm so proud of the person that you're going to become. I'm so proud of who you are. And you got this, sis. So let's go.